I made these arm warmers for I was about to say Michelle's cosplay from Tekken. Hi, everybody. Hello. So Michelle. Hello, Jason. Hello, MelanatedVelma.
Hello. Hey. How you guys doing?
Good. We're good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Good.
So nervous. This is my first time doing something like this.
Don't be nervous. It's fun.
I have to thank you guys for that post, the day 6 post. That song has been stuck in my head for like the last weeks. Yeah. That is a bop.
Yes. Love day 6. Hi, everybody. Thank you all for coming and joining us. Yeah. Started? Yeah. I guess you ready to get started?
I'm ready. I think I'm ready. We'll see.
Let's do this. So this is A Nerd Was Born, and we are Divas on a Dime. And did you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody and just, let everybody know who you are?
Sure. I am King.kuuma, the CEO and founder of Nerdybearstudios. I'm also an admin on MelanatedVelma, my Black woman honorary page. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. So we always like to ask our special guest this question, but when did you realize you were a nerd?
I remember the exact moment. It was actually 1987 when I was born, to be honest. My whole life, I've just loved geeky, nerdy things. Things like it's up in the air. I would say between Ninja Turtles and the very first Super Mario, and then it was a spiral from there.
Love it. Yeah. You remember that the Super Mario show that used to come on TV? Yeah.
Oh my God, I went back and watched it. That show was awesome. I loved it when it was out and I was young. Oh, hey sis, what's going on?
Hi.
That's my actual sister.
Oh. Hi, sister. Oh man, that is awesome. I guess also too, like kind of going into like Nerdybearstudios, like how did like the idea for that come about, like the concept for it?
I always wanted to do something in gaming, and I think just growing up, you try to figure out what you want to do, right? And with that field, it's so expansive. It took me a while to actually come up with the solid concept and foundation. I remember the exact moment actually when I took the leap, and it was a little bit before I got married to my wife, and she told me, "What are you waiting for?" Before then I had wrote stories and kind of played with it a little bit, but never actually went into it. But the concept for just Nerdy Bear as a brand, I took what I loved and what my experiences were as a Black man, a nerd, and somebody that's just infatuated with video games, and mashed that all up. And my spirit animal had always been a bear. So when I was getting the graphics made, I told them, hey, just, make it look like me, but make it cute. And they came up with Nerdy Bear.
Oh,
So,
cute.
oh, shout out to Harvey Dent on Fiverr. He is exceptional artist. He's a perpetual contractor that I hire out, and he just does quality work. He came up with the logo.
Nice, nice. Hi.
So
Hello.
another question I wanted to ask, since you said like you're into video games. What video games are you playing right now?
Right now, it's between because my schedule is so busy. I have a backlog of this stuff. I remember growing up, like I would play everything that came out. I would beat it, but when you're an adult, you don't have that much time. So right now, I'm in between just playing the regular PUBG, Fortnite, Call of Duty. Um, because when I get into some of the games that I really love, like role playing games, I like to go all the way through. Really dig in. But there's pretty much nothing I won't play. I'm watching Cyberpunk, of course, Cyberpunk
Okay.
7. But I won't play that until I actually have like a good, I'll say week to dig into it.
Yeah, adulting like sucks. It gets in the way of everything that's fun
It
sometimes.
sure does.
Right.
Like,
Um, so I guess too, like kind of related to like the games. So you're like kind of like into like the shooting games, but you like a whole bunch of other types. What would you
Yeah.
say?
I mean, I like shooting only because I can hop into it casually, but I'll play literally anything. Animal Crossing, Final Fantasy 7. I really don't play sports games that much, but anything else, is I'll hop into it because I need to kind of stay relevant too, because of what I've chosen to do with my life. So
Okay. Ooh. And this is also kind of related to gaming again. So like what challenges like had you run into like with getting things off the ground, like being like an indie like gaming company and things like that? What were some challenges?
I think two things is probably the most challenging is one, setting your expectations. Because
Mhm.
whenever you're excited and you're starting to do things, you're like, I want to get it, I want to get it, I want to do it, and then you burn out. Um, so really, before I even started, uh, I researched how long does a quality game take to make. If you're an indie studio where most of your staff or people that's helping you are contractors versus in-house, like how long can you expect? And that time frame is usually about 3 to 5 years. So yeah, it's pretty heavy investing for because you can put out a mobile game within 3 to 6 months, but that's not really what I'm aiming for because my target audience is a lot different than a lot of studios. My stories tell a lot of black stories about black women in particular, and just homage to things that like when I was growing up that was important. Um, so that being said, you're doing something different that takes a long time anyway. That's pretty challenging to kind of pace yourself so you don't burn out. And the second thing is the industry itself is just trying to put this PC. It's a very whitewashed industry. So
Okay, okay. Yeah. We're kind of
uh,
like, like wanting to talk to you about that.
mhm.
I mean, it's refreshing to see like, like someone like yourself coming, in with something like this. Because I mean, there does need to be more diversity as
Yes.
far as like what we see. We're not like, like avid gamers, but from what we see like on TV and things like that, it is, not very diverse. Especially like
right,
with characters playing games that you see, you know. But I mean, we're out there.
Yeah.
right,
So
right.
yeah.
And in the formation of this, that's just kind of what I wanted to do was just to see more people like me or my family
Hmm.
portrayed in media, because it just doesn't happen as much as it needs to.
And also too, like, you know, as far as like in the media, usually as far as like people that get to tell the story, it's not, you know, like the same, unfortunately.
Right.
So things have to be like that accurate
Yes.
or it's like stereotypical.
Yep.
So
You already know.
so we appreciate you, like seriously, like for what you're doing and whatnot. So yes,
Thank,
kudos.
thank you, thank you. And I made a vow to myself, whether I make $1,000 or $1,000,000, like the stories need to be told, and they need to be told in an exciting and engaging way. So,
For sure. So as far as like the games that you have like in development like right now, are they going to be like released like on a like online like as on a website or like on a phone mobile?
we have 5 currently in development. Um, my goal is to hit platform and mobile. Not for all 5, but I would say if I went through our development list, for the ones that made sense. So, for example, games for Black girls. That to me would make more sense to be a mobile launch to where everybody should have it, because that's a passion project, and I feel like it needs to be to uh, be to the most people possible. Versus something like in the 90s where it's a massive action RPG where you're going through this journey, so it needs to be console, PC. That's a little heavier in the game.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, we were excited about the stories for Black girls. We were
Uh-huh.
like, yes, what is that?
Yeah. That's actually what spun the MelanatedVelma page, because I was doing a lot of research for the game, and I'm clearly not a Black woman, but I needed the backing and research, and I needed that point of view. Um, so essentially, basically, the game itself is coming from the voices of Black women, and I turn their stories into games. That's it in a nutshell.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Even more excited about it now, like, holy cow.
For me, I get calls and emails constantly. When's it coming out? When can we play it? Can we test it? And I'm like, hold on, I got you. Just give me some time. It's a one-man show, so.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, maybe not for like the for Black girls, but like the other games, we do know some people that are voice actors.
Yeah.
So if you need any voice actors,
I've reached out because my goal is basically to have 100% Black production. And I know this sounds insane, but like if I can dream it, it can happen. So I want from the writers, programmers, voice acting, all the talent I can afford to be Black. Because like I said, I want it to be our story, so why not? Now, I know sometimes, you got to reach out, but for the most part, that's part of the dream.
I love it.
yes. Do you have anything else?
Oh, well, another question goes with gaming again. But out of the 5 games that you currently have in development, which is your favorite?
Oh, easily. In the 90s, that is like my ultimate dream, just smashed into everything. My favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy VII. I like just the fact that they have built this world that you can just immerse yourself in. And the game actually heavily inspires in the 90s, but it takes also part of everything that's me and makes it like a Black story. So you play this group that's world famous. It starts off with them in a concert, and something crazy happens. I don't want to ruin the story, but something crazy happens, and they have to save the planet. But in this, there's so many stories that go left and right from this group, and it's all interconnected. And it tells, stories of love, loss, you know, damage to the planet. There's just insane amount of story and my love and soul and my heart that went into this. So easily that is probably my top project that I'm working on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like we were looking on your page, the Nerdybearstudios, and we were looking at like the pictures of each one. That one we were excited about too. We're just like, oh my gosh. And then the what is the other one?
Amsterdam?
Yeah, Amsterdam. That one looks cool.
Amsterdam, our first release actually this coming year, and it came while me and my wife were on vacation in Amsterdam. The idea for it was so simple but so like cute. I was like, we need to do this. We fell in love. I remember when it happened, we were on the tram and we were just talking, and we started bouncing ideas back and forth off of each other, and it just came to fruition. And we were like, yeah, this needs to happen. Now, as tearful and cute as the game is, all the games have a message behind them. And obviously, in the climate that we're in, you play a detective, so it'll speak to a lot of the issues we're having as a community with the police. But it tells it in a cute way, and it doesn't cram down your throat. So, and that's a lot of the ways we get messages off.
That is very cool. Yeah, especially like with you having like the messages behind like the video games. I mean, it's a good way to like use like your platform to, kind of put something out there like for people and things like that, like a good, positive message. And then sometimes like, video games get like a bad rap.
That's my brother. I'm sorry. Hey, bro, what's up?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm the oldest of 5, so it may be a couple that hop in here.
Hey, Hieroglyphic.
Hello. But yeah, that's very like unique, like cool, like as far as like what you're saying, like with messages behind each of the games. Sometimes I know, like, in the media, video games get like a bad rap. I mean,
Right.
I appreciate GTA, but it's not always about like the running people over and things like that. I mean, but there's other types of games out there that just isn't for kids.
You're right.
But that's very refreshing for yours to have like a positive message, in it.
Right. It's hard to have a balance between it too, because you want to have people be interested and tell your stories, because just because it's interesting to you doesn't mean everybody wants to play it. But one of those are actually guilty of being kind of hyper violent, but it's kind of necessary for the story, is Animal Planet. Mm-hmm. And although you play these cute animals, it's a story of basically like hyper gentrification, if you could picture it. So basically, like, imagine like how we are now, but instead of Kuma here, I'm actually a bear, and you're, I don't know what your favorite animal is, a tiger. And we're animals, and we're sentient, and we're living and just chilling, and then this crazy invasion happens, and then I don't want to ruin the story for you, but basically it doesn't end well. Let's just put it like that. And it is a first-person shooter. It is a war game, but it's necessary for the story. But that's not the type of narrative that we're trying to push constantly.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right. Gosh, it's so exciting.
It's exciting. I'm like, ooh.
It's like, I want to pay them all. Just take all of our money. We want all those games.
The dog is walking around behind me.
Oh,
Go, go. It's fine.
Lord. So, kind of like segueing to like another topic. So, back to Velma.
Yes. Yes.
Like when did you realize that you had a love and appreciation for Miss Velma?
So Miss Dinkley, right? Velma Dinkley. I would say even the whole page and the love of it, everybody figures out that they have a type and they have something that they gravitate towards. And just throughout growing up, I always realized it would be like a particular type of woman. And it turned out to be the geeky, nerdy, very smart, type of woman. So personification wise, it just lined up with what Velma was, except she had melanin. So it was basically, it was just that. I mean, it's not per se the cartoon because actually Velma is white, and the attraction to white Velma isn't necessarily there. It's just that archetype of woman. And that happened very early in my life.
Gotcha. And also too, like Kendra and I were looking at the page and like on there like positive, like shouting out like females on there, which is good. A good thing like that we just like really liked on the page.
Yes.
So
Right.
we appreciate it. Yeah.
Definitely a advocate for Black female empowerment. I just love that side of where I'm from. I'm actually mixed. I'm biracial, but as you can see, I align with Black. I call myself a Black man. And growing up, I just always loved to see powerful Black women. So whenever I see it now, I align it with that image of what I already loved and, shout it out. And some of the people I find are just incredible. The achievements I couldn't even imagine. I don't want us to be pinholed to one thing, because we're just capable of infinite things. So, I mean, I found Black surfers, Black astronauts. It's insane. Yeah.
I didn't know about Black surfers. I'm like, what?
I know. I'm like, really? That's cool.
Yeah, shout out to, what's her name? Neek Miller. She is a Black surfer. I think she lives in Hawaii, and I think I posted about her a while ago. But yeah, she is a pro female Black surfer. Yeah.
And just like, I mean, like just to see like that, diversity and just like I guess it's like the possibility of, that's just like very, very powerful. Like
Yes.
for real.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're so cool.
Okay, so let's see. The next question would be, well, this is actually, this is a funny question, but have you ever been to conventions before?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Not recently, obviously, because of COVID, but before this, almost every year, twice a year in Atlanta, they have MomoCon and DragonCon, and we would go annually. And when we got married, we would do like couples cosplays. So, like the first year we went, we were like this hip hop version of Mario and Luigi. And then I did a cosplay of the Milkman, and she was a Hufflepuff. Yeah, It's like a vacation, but not having to leave your city. Unfortunately, I'm not in Atlanta now. I moved to LA and for a job opportunity. But it's looking like we'll probably go back to Atlanta next year.
Gotcha. That is cool that y'all cosplay together.
Yes.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
So what is like your favorite cosplay that you and your wife have done together?
So far, I think the best one would be it's a mix between the Mario and Luigi and Diva and Soldier 76. Those are probably my two favorite.
Okay. We had another question too with conventions. We like to ask people, but what are your convention pet peeves?
Oof. I wouldn't say for me personally, but just when you see it, or just when I see it, this bothers me. People that don't adhere to personal space. Like, we get it. You see people dressed up. They look beautiful. You're attracted to them. Don't touch them, period. And I see that too often. Getting too close, touching people where you shouldn't. That's probably the biggest pet peeve. And then two, not knowing how to act. I mean, I don't know what it is, but from age 5 all the way to 50, people dress up, they go spend a weekend somewhere, and then they want to just act a fool. I don't get it.
Yeah, same here. Because I'm just like, it's like it gives like cosplayers a bad look. Because we had talked about that before. Like, it was a group of cosplayers. They went to Katsucon, and somebody had like a whole bunch of body paint on, and they had sat in the chair in the hotel room, so the body paint was all on the chair. And they had punched they had punched a hole in their wall and put One Punch Man was here. Like, they trashed the room. I'm just like, what is wrong with you? You're not gonna want us to come back to this hotel and hold this to y'all acting a fool.
I know. Where's your mom?
That's actually kind of funny. But yeah, to that point, yeah, that's just behave. That's it. It's not that serious. I get it. It's exciting, but don't punch holes in walls.
Oh my God. And get your green behind off of the chair over there.
Like, they just trashed the hotel. They're like, I don't want them to come back to this time. I mean, come on now. They give the cosplayers a bad look.
I know. We're all not like that.
Yeah.
And, you want to go there and have a good time, but there's always that one guy or girl that's just, they're going to ruin it. They're going to ruin it for everybody. I remember there was it was a cypher / dance battle / freestyle that was happening, and this was after they had the rave. They have a rave every year at MomoCon. And this one guy, like, he's killing it. He's voguing, he's breakdancing, he's loud, he's entertaining people. And then you get this one stray girl that walks out, and she's in the middle. I don't know if she's like high or drunk or whatever. She's ruining the time. She's standing on the guy. She's like trying to twerk on him. And we're like, this is not like, Magic City. This is not, please, please, just behave, enjoy yourself. But I get it. And I'm not out here trying to police women's bodies or anything like that, but that moment was not the time for that.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty crazy.
I'm just picturing it in my head. I'm like,
I know, like, what?
And her cosplay was janky at the same time. I couldn't tell what she was. She was like half schoolgirl, half magical girl, half furry, something else. And I was like, yeah, she just, she's just enjoying herself a little too much on this guy. Actually, that is my wife's poster right there. Prince. She made me a Prince fan. I didn't really listen to Prince before we got married, but we went to his last concert, and that was that. But yeah, I put this up in the office because I love it. That's actually her right there. Oh.
You beat me to it, Raj King. We were gonna ask about that poster, and I kept eyeing it behind you. I was like,
The office is full of crazy, just nonsense.
That is so cool.
That crop Johnny Depp, right?
Yeah.
Yes. It helps with inspiration.
Oh yeah, Donkey Kong, Mario.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my desk is full of these little pop thingies. I can't stop buying them.
Then I see Bart Simpson too.
Yeah.
That's my favorite poster, though, Bart, man. I love that one.
It makes me think of that arcade game, The Simpsons.
Oh,
We used to play that a lot growing up.
That took so many of my quarters growing up. I could never beat it.
Same here. Same here.
I would always play so or Bart, and I just couldn't get it done.
I think they deliberately made that like as hard as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just weren't meant to beat it or something.
Like you're gonna get frustrated. Give us all your coins.
Right. Give me your money. Yeah.
Oh goodness. So, next question. So, this is like another Velma question.
Funny question.
But if you could cook Velma dinner, what would be on the menu?
I could cook Velma dinner. Okay, so this would have to be something from the heart. It's not going to be fancy. I am a good cook, but my most signature dish is something called fancy noodles.
It's called what?
Fancy noodles.
Oh, okay.
It's basically like if you take traditional Japanese ramen, but you make it hood.
And
it sounds terrible, but it is the best tasting thing. Probably not that good for you either. And then I would finish it off with some cheesecake, because everybody loves it.
Yes. So what do you put it like in the noodles?
Oh yeah, so imagine you know what like tossed noodles are, right? If you went to a Japanese noodle house or something like that, you take the ramen, you boil it until it's kind of semi-soft, and then depending on what you want, you can put in chicken, you can put in any kind of seafood or whatever. Usually I pan sear it, season up with whatever mix I want to add. Usually I do like jerk because I love Caribbean food, but you can add anything you want. And you take the dry noodles out of the broth, toss it in some sesame oil, put the jerk chicken on there, and then sprinkle a little extra sharp cheddar cheese, and then put maybe a fried egg or two on top, and boom, fancy noodles.
That sounds good.
I know. I'm like, holy.
Constant, I'm writing this down.
Can you do a post like going live making it so we can see how you do the noodles?
I'll do that. I will do that.
That would be too cool. We'd be so excited, so grateful. Oh man. So I guess we always talk about food. So what is your favorite food?
My favorite food, I grew up in Atlanta, so it's hot wings all day. I love I love wings, like and the sad part about it is here, there's nowhere to get it. So like for a year I've been like suffering. But just a good 10-piece wing with fries, nothing fancy. Because I've eaten really, really fancy food and really rich, and nothing ever leaked out to me. Just for me, something that reminds me of home and is comfort is wings.
Okay. Do you like any like particular sauce on it? Do you like a dry rub on it?
It don't matter. Give me some wings, I'm eating them.
Question, because our mom, she's like really particular with her wings. She likes the flat wings. So do you like the flat wings, or you just like the regular?
That's my wife. She's flat. I eat everything.
So what are the questions? New York pizza is good.
Make that question.
Oh, what is his name?
Harry Potter, Half Blood Crip said, can you ask him, does he prefer New York pizza or New Jersey?
Oh, baby, come on. You know I'm from New York. I was born. New Jersey got pizza?
That's what I'm like.
I know, right? I guess that answers that.
Nah, it gotta be that New York cheese, just cheese pizza, huge pieces. Oh, Chicago. Nah, not
It looks good, but it looks like it's gonna be a brick in your stomach after you eat it.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, pizza that I would eat like this, that's a turn off. How it looks in Ninja Turtles, that's how pizza should look, where they pick it up and
the cheese dripping, a little bit of the oil dripping down on your hand while you're taking a bite. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, well, I down here in the SIP, it's mostly soul food. I love soul food. I mean, it's not good for you. It's not good for your cholesterol, but I mean, I love it.
All in moderation.
Yeah, all in moderation.
Just a little bit. Everybody's soul food ain't good. I will say that.
Yeah, because some people don't know how to do mac and cheese and it's dry.
This
That's not how.
This year, because we moved away, me and my wife cooked for the first time. Now, usually, the parents do that. But, she was charged with mac and cheese duty, which is a whole nother thing by itself, which she killed it. But it brought up the debate of, like, what's mac and cheese versus macaroni, like Kraft, and then what's casserole, because a lot of people end up making casserole when they make mac and cheese.
What? Soul Food in the movie Soul Food was the real villain?
Oh, God.
Took out the main protagonist and everything.
Our mom was obsessed with that. And the series. Remember the series Soul Food?
That was a good series.
It was.
Okay, so another question about food. As far as, like, with wings, do you consider boneless wings actual wings or chicken nuggets? Because some people said those are chicken.
That's a nugget. I mean, what's the difference between a boneless wing and a nugget? That's, it's cute that they call it that, but it's not.
Oh,
That it was a nugget.
it was a meme that somebody posted. They're like, boneless wings are not wings. They're chicken nuggets. That's what they said.
Yeah. I am on that. If that is an unpopular opinion, I'm on that side of the opinion.
What are McDonald's? I saw a video on it and I was disturbed by what they said it was made of. Like they did a microscope of the chicken nugget and I was like, ew, gross.
Like everybody tries to tell me and I'm like, don't tell me. To me, it's just whatever the saddest thing you can think of, that's what it's made out of. And that's it.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't even eat McDonald's anymore like that. Nuggets don't have sauce. Burger nuggets are made of cardboard and student loans. Oh my god!
Don't even talk to me about student loan debt, okay? Good lord.
Burger King was good back in in the day, Burger King fell off. Like,
Yeah, it really did.
Chick-fil-A and Popeyes, they're the new chicken people. It's all about those sandwiches now.
we never tried it. We had never had the Popeyes chicken sandwich. Never tried it.
I will say it's good, and I held out for a while too. I was like,
That's a good question. Okay, so the Popeyes chicken sandwich or the Chick-fil-A sandwich? No, Alex.
Popeyes.
Oh, there was another question that came through.
I think Daquan said Chick-fil-A nuggets are the real nuggets. Yeah, it's real chicken with Chick-fil-A. Definitely.
Do black people eat Arby's?
Yes, we eat Arby's all the time.
Some of us are in there.
Yes.
When I go to Arby's, that's not a fair question because all I go is for the cheese sticks and the curly fries. Like, I don't eat the roast beef.
Really? It's so good. Oh my God.
It's really good. And then the onion roll that you can order with it, it's really good.
And the French dip sandwich is delicious. I love their French dip sandwich.
Order for it. I'm very particular, when you spend your money, you go out and you get comfortable with stuff. And then somebody recommends, you know what, I'm going to try it. And then you try it, and then, it ruins your whole friendship.
See, Geek Chic said they eat Arby's curly fries. Yes, their curly fries are so good.
They are good. They had sweet potato fries that came out, but those were dry. We didn't like them.
Yeah. I think they came with, icing and stuff. Yeah.
It was just...
The Quan said, I missed the Yu-Gi-Oh figurines from Arby's. They gave Yu-Gi-Oh figurines out at Arby's?
What?
I didn't remember them getting toys.
I missed that.
That's cool. Wow, I didn't know that.
Let me find out. I'll go get a black magician real quick.
Look, we feel slighted now.
We were hooked on Burger King because remember we were part of the Burger King Kids Club. We used to get the toys all the time. That don't sound too good. Are we eating Chinese food yet? What?
Chinese food is always on the menu. That's a staple.
Do you like Panda Express?
No, that's not Chinese food. Not at all.
Now you said no with the quickness.
I know. It's like no reservations on that. No.
Levels to Chinese food. Blue Eye Superior. Yeah. I know you know. So my brother was the king of Yu-Gi-Oh. He would, you would always have the black kids that went to the mall and they played with their friends. He would have the stacks of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I always loved watching him.
It's all about Baby Dragon and Time Teacher.
Yeah, about to start stuff.
Like we're supposed to start like a Zoom call on here.
Marvel or DC, Chanel and
That's hard to say. I would say instantly Marvel because my favorite superhero out of all of them is the Hulk. I actually had a poster that she gave my wife on my birthday. She basically, I don't know where she got it, but it's me as the Hulk, my face, and I'm saving her. And it's a huge poster. I actually don't have room for it on the wall, but so Marvel is kind of near and dear to my heart, just because you grew up. Well, I grew up with that, with the Amazing Spider-Man series, the X-Men, the animated series, and DC was just nowhere to be found. All they had was Batman, which is probably the best animated series ever. Mm-hmm. But that was it. You had Superman, but I know people will fight me on that, but I'm right here.
It's your opinion. It's not your opinion.
Someone said, Colin said DC, and Harry Potter said Bandit Keith was willing pulling out a gun at a card game. What? Colin said Marvel. Okay, and the Colin said for kids censorship didn't show it. And then Harry Potter said, what Marvel upcoming movies are you looking forward to? That's a good question.
I would say definitely Spider-Man because they are hyping this movie up like crazy. But Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange has an interesting premise. Like whenever they talk about it, it sounds like it's a horror movie, but it's done as a comic book. So like, you know, they've been doing comic books for almost 2 decades now. I want to see how they go in a different direction with it. But Spider-Man, you know, is probably my second favorite Marvel hero. So of course I'm excited for that. And then they're gonna have like the old people coming back in it. So
cool. And then Heart Gem said it's LOL a lot about Clark Kent and Superman.
Yeah, that's true. That's all that you're
I know a lot about Clark Kent and Superman.
Yeah. So do you watch do you watch anime?
do I watch what?
Do you watch anime?
Oh, of course. Of course.
What shows are you watching right now?
Oh gosh. So I just finished rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho. One of my favorites.
Okay.
Yeah. It's perfect when it comes to anime. I'm watching something called Terraformers. And I watch different things at the same time. Usually I watch like 3 or 4 shows. So I just finished Avatar Korra. The Avatar, the second one. And I'm watching something called Terraformers. I'm watching The Cautious Hero. Attack on Titan came out with their new season, so I'm watching that too. After I get all that out the way, I'll probably try to catch up on One Piece because I'm way behind on that.
God bless you.
God bless you.
There's so much to try to stay relevant.
I don't know. That's one series that we're just gonna have to. That's gonna have to take the back burner. We're just never gonna go to that. But God bless you.
It was some other questions. I'm laughing. Okay, Daquan said he just finished watching Fire Force. Yay! Harry Potter asked hentai. I'm like, okay. Okay.
Okay.
That's everybody else's business.
And then Heart Gem said, ask me a question about Superman or Clark, and I'll never answer it, please. Oh, and then Chanel said, which of your video game characters are you excited to bring to life the most?
That is a deep question. So the way I'm writing it and creating this Nerdy Bear verse, all the games are interconnected in some way. But it's hard to pick the single most character because I love them all. I would have to say Pix, the main character of In the 90s, because in a way that kind of feels like me in a video game. And just his story, seeing it play out and seeing how people, will engage with it.
Okay, cool. And Ani Blue Rider said, I'm finally on my last Common Rider series, Kiva, then I'm done. And then Colin says, are any of your characters based on real life people or all from imagination?
Absolutely. I have a big crazy family, so a lot of them are based on that. And, a lot of what I do is inspired by real life events. So they won't translate directly to that person because I don't like airing people's laundry. But like, for example, the game connectivity. I currently work for a telecommunications company, and the whole idea came from, what if this was me in space trying to connect different worlds, and so you have like galactic internet that you have to go out and fix.
For creating the characters.
I don't really understand the question. So like my inspiration, is that what you mean?
Yeah, I guess maybe that's what they mean.
Yeah, I guess that's what they mean.
Pertaining to different things, different characters have different sources. So, okay, cool. Yeah, so like in the 90s, right, it's supposed to be this mashup of all these popular trends and music and culture that was happening while this story is playing out. And a lot of that came from what I experienced in just popular things in the 90s. Like, for example, like the main cast of characters being a boy band. Boy bands were like a craze in the 90s. Now it's over in Korea, but like here, it's in the 90s was just nuts. So the whole premise of that came from growing up. Thanks. I'm going to take that as a compliment. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the characters, the main cast, they're inspired by some of my gaming heroes, Mario, Link, Zelda. Like you have, I took them down. I have a kind of like a pin board of story. I use it to create stories. For example, like Pix himself is a mixture of like Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Mario, Sonic, just in his powers, his attitude. And I mean like the Sonic from the 90s that was voiced by Jaleel White. I just loved hearing him say like quick little cute quips, So just that in your face, fast attitude, of course inspired that.
Cool. Daquan had a question for you. He said, if you had one power, what would it be?
If I had one power, people always ask me that. And that's a hard question because you want it to reflect what you are. And I guess when people first see me, like I'm a 6 foot, 300-pound black dude, so they're like, oh, he's buff, he's strong. So super strength, right? And I'm like, nah, that gets boring, I guess to fly. You could travel anywhere, fly or fly, like one of those. You can see everything, you can go anywhere. Something like that.
Yeah, that would definitely be cool.
Groovy Lovestein. No worries. Groovy Lovestein said, so what stories do you create exactly? I apologize. I came in late.
Stories as far as games, I don't really understand the question.
I guess they'll write their response. And they had another question too. Groovy Lovestein said, if you could teach the entire world just one concept, what would it be?
Good question.
That is a good question.
I would teach them the concept of agape, the love truly unconditional. Because if you can love, then anything else can come behind that.
Sure.
Love without judge, without expecting something from other people. Like a lot of people will say, oh, I don't see color, I don't see gender, like all of that mixed out. Just love people for who they are and what they do. Um, that would be the first thing.
That's a good message.
It's a good message. Yeah, they said Groovy Lovestein said, "Yeah, I'm talking about games." So it's first.
Oh yeah, sure. So in all, there's 5. We have in the 90s, basically a boy band tries to save the world from a world corrupting event. You have Animal Planet, which is basically an invasion uh, and trying to stop people from invading. You have Games for Black Girls, which is basically as much as I can in capturing the voice and essence of Black women, what's important to them, what, growing up, stories, taking that and turning that into an experience everybody can enjoy. Amsterdam, where you play a detective, and basically you're trying to save your city from being robbed from weasels. And getting the 5th one. Connectivity, where you basically have to defeat the evil King Cable from taking over the whole universe and stopping people from being able to connect and communicate with each other. So you spread love and just connectivity.
These are some really good questions, you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are rolling.
Someone else asked, Ruby Lovestein said, in your opinion, what are 3 things that make up a good villain or hero?
I would say character in all, whether they're a villain or hero. The ability to grow is definitely essential. So the best people, if you look at any story, right, like if you're watching the Avatar, Prince Zuko and Uncle Iroh are probably my favorite characters because throughout the story you watch them come full circle against what was motivating them, whether it's hatred, anger, or even just them fighting themselves. Having that turning point where people can watch and grow is probably the most essential thing in building a character. The second thing is tied into my overall mission in general, where people can see themselves in these characters. They can see part of who they are, and really connect to this person. Probably one of my favorite shooter series, Overwatch, did a immaculate job with the character creations to where you just feel everything that person's feeling. And I would say that's probably the 2 best. The third would just be good design. But yeah.
Definitely.
Then Chanel said, what advice do you have for people of color who want to jump into game development?
Good question.
First thing is breathe. Breathe. Take your time. Don't jump into anything. Because my mantra usually with everything, even not business related, the faster you get into it is the faster you get out of it. If you really want to do this and do it for life, where you see yourself making money for you and your family to come and you can support yourself, breathe, come up with a plan, do your research, and create the steps it'll take from A to B. If you can visualize it, then it'll happen.
Good advice.
Awesome advice.
And Groovy Lovestein said, who is your favorite villain or hero and why are they a favorite villain or hero?
Favorite villain? There's so many of them. My favorite hero obviously is either Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII or the Incredible Hulk. No, you should not sell drugs. Don't do drugs, kids. And the reasons being for those 2, the Hulk, of course, I just see a lot of his struggles in myself. Earlier on, finding somewhere to belong, finding, you know, having the worlds match what you see in yourself and not just seeing the outward appearance, the strength, the intelligence, you know, not just being a brute. Because a lot of times with being black and being a big man, people instantly want to be like, okay, yeah, physical labor, that's it. You know, that's the spot he fits in. But no, you know, I have all this. Like, people get really surprised when I tell them I have an indie game company. And they're like, but you're black. And I'm like, yeah. You know, I would say, yeah, that for the most part is I guess that's why anybody likes or feels heroes, because they see what they want to see in somebody else that could mirror, you know, what's going on with them.
Well, I got really deep.
That really, yes.
Like it.
I never seen the Final Fantasy series. And Groovy Justine also asks, what are 3 things that make up a good game plot?
Good question.
Wow, go ahead.
Game plot. Y'all getting real deep with this game stuff. The same thing that would make a good story. You know, you got to have first that world you can dive into. The best series always create that for you. You got to have engaging stories that are going in that world, not just that make sense, but that actually, you know, pull people in. Steven Universe was exceptional at that. You know, you get pulled in by what's going on to this little kid, and you grow with him, and you see the world changing around him grow, and you're invested in that story. The same goes for games or anything, literature, anything you can do.
And then Groovy Justine also asks, do you have a favorite anti-hero?
Oh,
Good
Venom.
question.
Venom. I love Venom. He nasty. He just, I don't know what it is. And maybe because, like, I love Spider-Man so much, it's so, like, anti-Spider-Man.
Right.
Yeah, definitely Venom.
And then Ani Blue Rider asks, have you made any fighting games before? Those are the type of games I want to make.
I have not. I would say the epitome of fighting games for me would be like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And I like just that chaotic, fast energy mixed with that anime style. It's just something about that game where it's just a classic. And if I could make a fighting game, it would be something like that. But I've never even dreamt up of making a fighting game. If I did, it would be just like a short little cut in a game that's already happened. You know, like the characters would stop and play an arcade game, and it would be like a little sub game in the game, like a little mini game.
Quan said Mugen.
Yeah, Mugen was insane. It's a fighting game where it's like thousands of characters and it's fan made. Yeah.
I have to play that.
I know.
Thank you, Daquan. Harry Potter said, what is your least favorite Final Fantasy? And why is it X2?
My least favorite would be the one I just finished, the one with Prince Noctis. The game just didn't, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful game, but it just didn't make sense. And I feel like they were too busy trying to make it cute and didn't make a good story. And then the ending, for those that didn't play it, I don't want to ruin it. I just wasn't a fan of. So definitely, I think that was 15 or 14.
There's a lot of gamers in this chat.
Yeah.
Groovy said, do you like anime? If so, what is your favorite anime right now?
I do like anime. I love it. if I was to tier my love interests, it would go video games, anime, horror movies, and then like hip hop. Well, I don't want to say hip hop because I like a lot of music. Probably my favorite is hip hop and like ska music. Um, so yes, I do love anime. My favorite right now, I would have to say I'm really loving Terraformers because it takes a crazy concept of just like bugs and it gives them like superpowers and humans have to fight them off to find this virus. And they go to Mars and it's just these insane nutty roaches, like these humanoid roaches that they have to fight. And then the theme song to the opening theme song is just this hard rock. Like, I just love it. It's kind of gory, so it's not for everybody, but like it's my favorite right now.
Okay. We don't mind gore.
No, we like horror movies too.
A cult, a lot of the pictures around, like I have, of course, the classics, but like one of my favorite monsters is Godzilla. Like I Godzilla everything, even the old school ones. You know, of course, like Dracula, the Mummy, stuff like that. X-Files.
I want to do it. What else? Was there any other questions?
Was there any other questions before we wrap anything? Can we talk? Is there any more questions before we wrap things up? Anybody in the comments?
Anybody? Y'all have a lot of good questions
Yeah.
too.
Okay, Ruby Lovestein said, do you have a favorite horror trilogy? If so, why is it your favorite horror trilogy?
Hey, cousin. It's my cousin down there. Favorite horror trilogy. That's really specific, but I don't know if there could be a trilogy. Because I like all of the originals. So like, you know, Alien, Jason, Freddy Krueger, Chucky. None of those are really trilogies. They just keep making them. But like, I guess just the original monsters are the ones that I like the most.
Okay. Blue Rider said, have you watched any tokusatsu shows? What's
I
that?
have no idea what that is, but I can Google it.
Yeah. I can look it up too.
Absolutely. Because it looks like they're just Japanese live action movies or shows. Like I think Kamen Rider is one, which I did watch pretty heavily when I was into Power Rangers. And they have a certain level of like cheesiness to them, which I love cheesy. So yeah, if somebody recommends, I'll watch it.
Well, thank you, Auntie Blue Rider. We just learned something.
Yeah, thank you for teaching us something new today.
Yeah. Like, When Ruby Lovestein said, at what point, it disappeared. We good enough when are we self-improved enough to accept ourselves?
At what point are we good enough? Hey, rewrite that, Groovy, because I don't get the question.
Yeah.
And then Daquan asks, do you find Food Wars funny?
I do. I mean, the first episode is so ridiculous. You know, it's like my wife's favorite anime right now. So I sit and I watch, and sometimes I'll walk by and some dude eats a sushi roll and his clothes burst off, and I'm like, I want food that good. Like, that is what I want all the time.